Can you believe it is 2026 and you are listening to me at the Loud Lens? Yeah, it's Candy. Hi, babes. How are you doing? How are we hungover still? How are we doing? Now, there is a lie that we like to tell in January, isn't it? The new year, new me. And I want to get that out of the way. So if you listen to this in January, which I hope you are, thinking that this is finally going to be your year, this is the real one, this is the one, the chances are it probably won't be. It's not because you're untalented, and it's definitely not because the industry is saturated, or because the algorithm hates you, or Instagram doesn't show you to people, blah, 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 blah. It's because most photographers actually won't change anything. They might rename the year. They might go to HomeSense and buy themselves a really snazzy planner, a sexy pen. They might write a few lists, post a few motivational quotes. They might even change their logo. And then they go back to the same habits as before, the same pricing, the same avoidance, the same excuses, just with a fresh calendar, she says, looking down at her own desk right now, because I have two new ones. They're ready for 2026, okay? This is my world domination year. It's probably not. But they go back to those same habits. So today I'm talking about the thing about why most photographers won't change, as particularly in 2026, make it relevant, and what separates the few that actually will. Okay. So January we know is noisy. Everyone is chucking out goals for us. The gyms are saying, come join us. There's no sign up fee and blah, 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 blah. And they're saying, oh, I've rebranded. We've got this special new year, new you opening offer. Suddenly everyone's a coach and offering things. The gyms are full of people who are going there because they bought into the marketing. They go to the gym and it's a hellscape because it's full of people and no one knows what they're doing because no one's offering them any help. So they run away because things happen. And I'm not shaming you to go to the gym in January because I was definitely one of those people, and it's hell. It's just pure hell. It's carnage in there because everyone goes there with the best intentions. They arrive and they go, oh no, it's scary because it is. It is scary. It shouldn't be, but somehow it is. And people look at you like they're judging me because people are douchebags and they judge in the gym. I don't know why. I don't care what everyone says. There are people who are utter douchebags in the gym. And you don't know what to do. So you run away again. You don't go back. So you don't change anything because out of fear, or you don't try to learn something, or you haven't got the ability to learn all these things. Okay. There are photographers who feel the pressure that if they don't figure it all out by week 2, they've already failed, okay? And that's the problem. People confuse intention with change. Setting goals feels productive. Buying education feels productive. Talking about growth feels productive. But none of these things actually change your business like execution does. It's consistency. It's implementing what you've learned. It's uncomfortable decisions to keep doing them. When you are consistent, you wanna keep being consistent. When you keep executing something, keep executing it. Is that right? I don't wanna sounds like Vlad the Impaler advice there. But that's where most photographers quietly tap out, I'll be honest. As someone who mentors people, I see it. The truth is a lot of photographers are stuck, and the real reason is people don't really wanna change. They want results without the identity change. You can't say you wanna run a business, but still behave like a hobbyist. You don't charge right, and you don't ch you can't charge premium prices while being afraid to say no to clients. You can't grow while consistently needing validation. I see people all the time whinging that people don't like them, they're not seeing them stuff on the algorithm. People aren't, that like, here's the thing. Shadow banning, right? I don't know how many more times people have said it's not really a thing. If people scroll past your content because it doesn't engage with them, the algorithm isn't going to show it to them again or less. It will show it to them less. So they don't engage because you're not exciting them. And that you just need to accept that you're not going to excite everybody all the time. All right. But the idea that you somehow go, oh my God, everyone hates me. And so you post it on your stories and you go, can you like this post, please? Because I just haven't got any friends and nobody's liking my stuff and it's really sad. So everyone rushes to go and like that post because they feel bad and you've been guilted into it. So they like the post. The algorithm was, oh, they actually like it again. So they chuck it them. But then the people don't engage again because frankly, the truth was they weren't interested in it. The problem isn't them, it's your content. And that's just something we have to admit. Okay. And it's something I will say a lot of content creators do to boost their engagement just before they go and pitch themselves to a new client. Say, look at my engagement rate. So it boosts really quickly. Isn't that really nice, isn't it? So they basically lie. Well, they don't lie. I can't say that. They misrepresent the truth. That's a better way of saying it. Spoken like a true American president. Sorry. Keep politics out of photography, Candy. There's also another one where people confuse learning with progress. And this one is going to sing watching videos, listening to podcasts. buying courses. None of that means anything if you change nothing afterwards. So if you have a hard drive full of PDFs and your bank account is still empty, you're not learning, you're hiding and avoiding it. So I like to think when you listen to this podcast, you eye roll consistently at me, take a shot every time I say a word repeatedly, and then go, actually, and amongst all that waffle, there's some good advice. I'll try and do some stuff. I would like to think that. So that's why you're probably thinking, do you know what, Khandie? I'm going to subscribe. I see this, I'm going to subscribe to you because I like the dulcet tones of your voice and your terrible dad jokes. I want to hear you constantly in my ears. So yeah, please subscribe and leave me comments about how annoying I am. That'd be great. Also find me on social media on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that, and just stalk me, but in a like a very professional way and not in a crazy way, okay? Also, people avoid the boring work. You know what? You know what actually grows your photography business? Pricing reviews, client communication, admin, follow-ups, systems, and boundaries. And it's not vibes, and it's not aesthetics, and it's definitely not manifesting, okay? Because none of this work is because no one wants to do it because it's not sexy. It's not Instagrammable. It's not beautiful. I will say one of the biggest changes for me in my business was when I started engaging in follow-ups. So I would reach out to clients after shoots, hope they enjoyed it. I would, if someone sent me an inquiry and I didn't hear back from them, I'd do a follow-up. I managed to turn over a bit more money because I was doing that. I now have a system that allows me to send up, hey, you didn't approve it. Is everything okay? Can we relook at the quote for you? And I have that automated with my Studio Ninja and it works really well. So I was able to use that software to help me because then, if I don't like doing it, I'm going to find a workaround for it. And I will admit, I have a lovely admin lady called the Proficient PA who April, you can hire yourself. She's fantastic. She's actually a real life person. I'm lucky for me. She lives in the town I live in. I hire her up when I don't want to do my admin. No, it's often when I'm traveling and I know I've got a lot of admin that needs doing, as much as I try to do it while I'm traveling, sometimes it's just better that somebody is in the UK and can do it and can respond, like, if there's a time difference, but also just being there, like, be able to engage with the client and email back. Some of you will have had it and it'll have in the comments. Sometimes it's Sarah, sometimes it's April, you'll have like, "Hey, Sarah on behalf of Khandie," and it's all done for our system, so you're actually who you're talking to each time, because I think that's important, but it does help me out, and I am in the privileged position where I can pay for that, but I feel like I don't wanna do it. I can't find a system around it. It makes sense to possibly offset that with somebody else, okay? But what does real change look like? I you know, we need to remember that, um, the new year doesn't erase things because it's like a theatre around the new year, right? So people do new logos, new Instagram bios, new brand colors, but the same fear about money and the ability to say no stays. There's a lack of structure and nothing actually changes. So the outcome doesn't. So what does it really look like, right? Real change is quiet, if I'm honest. It looks like raising prices and being okay with losing the clients that don't fit your model anymore. It's saying no and sitting with that and being okay with it. It's posting less but converting more. But rather than just simply post, here's a pretty picture of a wedding I did. Post with the idea of what do I want to do? I'm posting this because I want to get more brides and grooms to book me. So maybe the wording isn't, it says a pretty picture, it's a pretty picture, I did a pretty picture. Like maybe you're like, hey, booking for 2027 for brides who want documentary style, grooms who want to feel like badasses, whatever it is. Like you want to talk in a way that you're trying to convert sales if that's what it's about. Now, not everything needs to be salesy because that can be quite boring, but post with intention. Yeah. Post with a purpose. You're not just posting because it's pretty. And if you are, say to them, "I'm just posting this because it's pretty and I'm really proud of it. I hope you like it." At least then you're getting people to interact with you. And sometimes it's just doing the same boring things every week, doing the admin, doing the follow-ups. This isn't glamorous, it's not Instagrammable, and it's not TikTok worthy, but it works and it has worked for a lot of people. So maybe that's what you need to be doing because that's real change. Okay. That's real change. Now, I'm not saying this from a pedestal. I have been a photographer who set goals, didn't follow through, and I've been the one blaming timings, platforms, and confidence. I remember just constantly wallowing. It's actually longer than 5 years ago. It'll probably be about 6, 7 years ago now. Just not knowing what I was doing wrong. I was trying really hard to be this photographer. I was busting an ass to get clients in. I was writing loads. I started a really poor attempt at having a YouTube channel. Go back and look at them. They're hilariously funny. There's some good information in them, but yeah. I was trying to be this cool, hip photographer, and it just felt so not like me. If you've met me in my real life, you will know that I am very colorful in how I dress. If I'm not in the studio, I wear all blacks, but outside the studio, I'm all very colorful. I was described the other day as a Dr. Seuss character in the way I dress. I'm happy with that. I enjoy being very direct in how I speak. Hopefully I'm not rude, but I don't want people to misunderstand. I also, I have a little bit of a different approach to life now, and that is partly due to some trauma that happened about that time, around that time, and I just started to stand out for myself, and that was a change I started to make, and then slowly I kept up the work of change. I changed my logo. I changed the style I was shooting. Leaned more into what I love and what gives me happiness. And what I found was that little switch from, the black and white backgrounds, what everyone was doing, the fine arty stuff, just really wasn't quite my vibe. I liked color. I liked vibrancy, and I found that people really leaned into what I was into, and it worked really well for me. I was really proud of what I did. I just started to notice a real significant change in what I was doing, and for me, that really helped my business grow. I wrote the 2 books. I started this podcast, for God's sake. Like, this was all I remember writing right at the start of lockdown, I would love a podcast. I kept thinking, "We'll do it now in lockdown when everyone's just sat at home." But instead, what I did was I needed to build a platform. I needed to build a community. So I started, you might have remembered if you were back in, if you're the OGs, you remember all through lockdown, every week I was doing a 7-day photography challenge for you to be able to do on your 1 hour walk you're allowed or in your home. And we started to build quite a community on that. And then I converted that community into Facebook groups and mailing lists. And then from that, I wrote the books and we had this podcast and see how it grew. There was conscious decisions to change things. I have a very loose plan on what I'm going to be doing in 2026, 2027, but my plan goes as far as 2030. That's how much I'm planning this. Like I have obviously it changed. I have a whiteboard right in front of me of what I want to do and how I'm doing it and what I'm targeting, because I want to be making a change. I want to make a change in the industry. I want to stand up a bit more. I want to call out stuff. I want to not gatekeep. I want to offer opinion because there's all these people out there that were saying, "Oh, there's room for everybody," but there isn't. They make people feel uncomfortable. I don't want that. I started calling out behavior that I don't like. I recently called out in a group that I'm part of some really shoddy behavior from a photographer, and I don't care that someone said to me, "Oh my god, but they're really well known, they might cause you problems." Fine, cause me problems, but I will hold you accountable every time you come for me because I took screenshots of what you did and I want people to know that. If you come for me, I'm putting them out there. Now, everyone in the group knows, which shocked me, but I wanted to be that person. I've always been that person that stands up for the little guy, as they say, and I have a very strong conviction of who I am now. And I feel more comfortable saying, no, that's not okay, or no, that's not appropriate, and saying that. If you don't like it, we don't have to work together, but just know what you're doing doesn't feel right to me. So I've done it. I have no problems. And I'm aware people talk about me in a negative light. That's okay. It's 100%. Never expect to be liked by everybody. If I'm going to give you any advice for 2026, don't expect to be liked by everybody. Okay, that will mess up your mental health. It will make you feel shoddy because you are not there to be a care bear or a punching bag, emotionally and hopefully not physically. To everybody, you need, if you'll do it. What is it? Well-behaved women seldom make history. That's what Mae West said. I love Mae West. Uh, she was an iconic woman. Read up about her. Hugely iconic stuff she did against segregation. Also, anyway, I'll go off on a tangent even more so than I am now. I wanted to make a change, and I made that change as we came out of lockdown. I kind of didn't reinvent myself. I just let the me that was already there come into my workspace, and things have changed dramatically. You cannot keep repeating the same things and expect different results. The sign of madness or whatever it's called, right? So I needed to do that. And once it becomes more organic for me to behave the way I do, the more I realized actually I had spent years of my career trying to fit into a mold that I was never going to fit into and producing work that was kind of, yeah. Now I produce work that maybe it's not for everybody, but I'm like, I really like that. I actually like that. I would put that on my wall. I'm proud of that. Yeah. So that was the biggest shift for me. Okay. It didn't come from some sort of weird motivation. I don't know how to say it, but it came from a responsibility to be myself, a responsibility to care about the business I was going to make my career out of, right? I was in the military. I was performing all over the world. I was earning huge bucks being a performer, but I also felt like I needed something else that played on my brain, allowed me to be creative. So I was still performing. I still do my thing, but there's something about photography, and I knew that I wanted to sustain my lifestyle doing this. And I'm so fortunate that I take a lot of you with it. Yes, my YouTubes aren't amazing because I'd spend more time doing the photos than I do creating these incredible B-roll pictures because my focus is on photography. I love videography, but I don't have I'm learning it now, shall we say. I am slowly learning it, but I am trying, okay? And that's how I'm doing it. I'm switching things up. I invested in some kit because I know I want to improve that videography. I just want to be better. So I am making that. The motivation is I took responsibility to do this for me. The moment I stopped asking why this isn't working and started saying, what am I avoiding and how can I do it even though I don't want to in a way that makes me want to, if that makes sense, everything changed. Okay? So if you take nothing else from this episode, I want you to ask yourself what behaviors have to change for you to get your goals for this year? What would make it possible? It's not what you want, it's not what you hope. What would you do differently consistently? What are you going to say, I will do this and hold yourself accountable for it? Because without that, you're just going to fall back into another year and wonder when this time comes around for 2027, oh my God, nothing changed, nothing happened. What are you going to do? I would say, come and chat to me at the photo video show in March. Come to the Societies one if you're, I'll be there as well. Come hang out. We can chat. You and I can talk about this. I'm open. Like, come and see me. Come and ask me. I'm not saying I'm the be all end all, but come and tell me if you need someone to say, if you need to go up to somebody and say, hey, I need someone just to know I'm going to do this. Tell me what it is. Find me on social media. Say, Khandie, in 2026, I am going to XYZ for my photography business. Tell me. And then come back at the end of 2026. Khandie, you already told you in January I was going to do this. I did it. And here's the proof because I want to hype you up as well. Okay. Tell me. If this episode has hit a nerve, good, because it means it mattered. I want you to share it with a photographer that maybe needs a little bit of motivation to save them or boost them. And if you're serious about doing things differently this year, please stick around, subscribe. This is the Loud Lens. I created this for people like you and me who needed to hear it. Because we don't do fake growth in 2026. We don't do fake growth anytime. We have to be consistent and do it with purpose. All right. Anyway, take care of you. I hope you had an amazing celebration. Please subscribe. I've told you loads. I love the numbers. Comment, find me on all the socials. I love talking to you guys. And I want to say personally from me, thank you for giving me the space or at least have the lending me your ears, as they say, to listen to me waffle and give what advice I can. I have absolutely enjoyed it. So here's to another year of me talking in your ear holes about photography. Bye, loves.